Last night, your brain destroyed evidence. It erased hours of memories before you even got out of bed. And the strangest part, it did it on purpose. You dreamed 4 to 7 separate times last night. Full stories, full worlds. Every single night, whether you remember it or not, scientists have proven it with brain scans, even on people who swear they never dream. So where does it all go? Try this right now. Remember what you had for lunch yesterday. Easy, right? Now remember your third dream from last Tuesday. Exactly. Researchers finally caught the brain in the act of doing this. What they found challenged something neuroscientists had assumed for decades. But before we get to that, you need to understand what's actually happening in your skull while you sleep. You'd expect the sleeping brain to go quiet, power down, rest. It doesn't. During one stage of sleep, REM, where your eyes dart back and forth under closed lids like you're watching something only you can see, parts of your brain become almost as active as when you're fully awake. Visual centers lighting up, emotional centers flaring, your memory system yanking up random people, places, and fears and slamming them together into a story. Which raises an even stranger question. If your brain is that active, why doesn't it notice how insane the story is? Then something strange happens. One tiny region goes dark, the prefrontal cortex. Your internal fact checker, gone. That's why you can be mid-conversation with someone who died years ago, in a house that's also somehow your old school, and your brain doesn't blink. There's no editor in the room. Nothing to say, wait, this is impossible. By the clinical definition, for a few hours every single night, you're experiencing something surprisingly close to temporary psychosis. Vivid hallucinations. Zero insight that they're hallucinations. The only difference is that everyone else on Earth is doing it too, at the same time, in private. So here's the real question. If your brain does this every night, why doesn't the average person walk around confusing dreams with real memories? There's a name for what happens when that safety system fails. It's called dream reality confusion, and it shows up in certain neurological conditions. Patients who wake up genuinely unsure whether something happened in real life or only in a dream. Not lying, not being difficult, just unable to tell the two apart. Which means forgetting your dreams isn't a glitch, it's a firewall. So how does the brain actually delete them? This is where it gets specific. Imagine your brain has a janitor. Every night, after your dreams finish playing, this tiny cluster of cells walks through the theater and starts sweeping almost everything into the trash, before the lights even come up. That janitor is real. Researchers found a group of neurons buried deep near the base of the brain that switch on almost exclusively during REM sleep. Turn them on, and memory formation drops. Turn them off, and memory improves. In other words, they may have found the brain's actual delete button. But if there's a delete button, why do some dreams survive? Timing. If you wake up in the middle of REM, or right after it, the dream is still sitting in short-term memory, fresh, before the janitor gets to it. That's why the dreams you remember most vividly are almost always the ones right before your alarm goes off. A few seconds later, and it's gone. Forever. You just happen to catch it on the way out the door. Here's a fact that'll ruin your morning routine. The instant you check your phone after waking up, you just sped up the deletion. Bright light, new information, a notification. Your brain immediately prioritizes the incoming world over the outgoing dream. It's not cruelty, it's triage. Reality wins, every time, on purpose. So every dream you don't remember wasn't lost because it didn't matter. It's gone because somewhere in your skull, a cluster of cells made a judgment call. thousands of times a night about what deserves to become a memory and what needs to disappear before it does damage. Tonight, it'll happen again. You'll live through hours of impossible worlds. You'll meet people who no longer exist. You'll believe every second of it, completely, with no ability to doubt any of it. And before your first cup of coffee tomorrow, your brain will have already erased almost all of it. You'll never remember it. You'll never even know what was erased. Not because dreams don't matter, because remembering them might.